What's going on, everybody? Brezzy43 here. I am back with our next video. Today's going to be a bit of a shorter one. I'm going to be playing a colossal variation with Perish Trap and Trick Room available. Now, I'm not the creator of this team, but I did put it together with my own bred Pokemon. Um, but the idea is pretty simple. Um, I will just go. It's weakness policy colossal with Aqua Jet Azumarill to proc it with Perish Song as well. Gothitelle has Protect and Trick Room as well as Fake Out and Helping Hand to support the Trick Room mode of Glastrier. And then both Rillaboom and Incineroar do a nice job of rounding out the Fire Water Grass core while still giving the team decent pivoting options should you go for the Perish mode or decent damage options should you just need to deal damage. Now, the last Perish, the last Perish video that I made, or the last Perish team I was using was this Kingdra Politoed. I don't think I still have it up anymore. Kingdra Politoed um, variation of the team, and there's things that I liked about Kingdra, but ultimately I think one of my issues lied with Politoed. Politoed I don't think is a super great Perish Song user right now for the specific reason that um, accounting for both electric attacks as well as grass attacks right now is kind of difficult. Um, you have to be able to take big, strong electric attacks from things like Zapdos and Thundurus and Regieleki, in addition to also taking grass attacks from Rillaboom. And it Azumarill also picks up the fairy typing, which is really nice against the Urshifus that are running around the format right now. This thing resists both Urshifu variations, and it also has Sap Sipper, which makes it immune to Rillaboom. So the only thing you have to worry about is strong electric attacks. Now, obviously, Politoed comes with its own set of support things that are very beneficial, but Azumarill gets Aqua Jet, which makes it a nice partner for Colossal. This team was created by somebody, Santino Tarquinio. You guys may recognize him as the first the Players Cup 1 winner. He created this team and showcased it in Series 7. I think he might have actually wrote a team report on it. I developed my own spreads for this, or just I mostly just used Pokemon that I had already had. In my party, I didn't copy his EV spreads, but this is the same 6 members that he has. Yeah, I think it's a really solid team. It further explores Gothitelle for me, which is something that I really wanted to do. Now, this is really interesting for my opponent. Um, it looks like their team's pretty weak to Colossal, which I was actually just about to say. I haven't actually been bringing the Colossal mode very much. Um, so I really like that Colossal is able to come in this match here. I think it's probably the best option. I have a feeling my opponent, they might lead something like Landorus plus Tapu Fini maybe, or Landorus plus Indeedee maybe. Indeedee's definitely coming, so I can't really do Colossal here now that I'm thinking about it, because I can't really beat the Indeedee. Um, I could threaten the lead and then try to position it later on. I could bring it in the back, or I could lead it and then force my opponent to play around it and then switch it out. The problem is that Landorus is a bit of a problem. Um, so it only works if they bring Tapu Fini, but ideally I would be able to. I think I also kind of want Incineroar because it matches up decently against their Intimidators. And okay, I think I'm going to try this mode. I haven't brought this mode yet. I've mostly just been doing the Trick Room stuff, and then I think I'm going to bring Rillaboom for. Actually, is Incin better? I think I'm gonna bring Rillaboom. I think I want Terrain, and I think Rillaboom also surprisingly functions as a nice answer to Landorus in the late game after Landorus's Dynamax is over. Um, so this idea here is going to be to force my opponent to play reactively to my Colossal lead, and then potentially catch them in a Perish situation. So let's see what they go for. Indeedee Dusclops. Okay, so Dusclops can switch out here. Um, Okay, I definitely don't want to set up my Colossal right now. Why would they be leading Trick Room? If I remember correctly, I don't think they had a very clear Trick Room option. So I don't want to, excuse me, risk Aqua Jetting here. So, Trick Room. Okay, well I'm just gonna hard switch into Gothitelle here and perish. I know that Dusclops can switch out in Shadow Tag, and I'm sure that my opponent knows that as well. But I still think that this is gonna be one of the best like plays that I can make for now. Let's see what they do. Okay, they just go for Expanding Force, so they don't go for Follow Me, which is interesting. Okay, so we get the perish off. Okay, that's fine. So now I can. Now my opponent's gonna have to think about. So what do they bring in here? What's their likely bring in? They don't really have anything that thrives very well in. Oh, I guess Regice. I don't even know Regice's stats. I forgot that Pokemon was on this team. Let me look and see what Regice stats. I don't even know this thing's stats. 200 special defense, 100 defense, and 100 special attack with 50 speed. Okay. So it is slow for Trick Room. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I think I could reverse my opponent's Trick Room here, but I actually think I'm just gonna fake out the Indeedee and switch to Rillaboom here. Yep. Incineroar, fine. Okay, so my opponent can fake out here. The question is, do they? How many turns left of Trick Room? 3 turns left of Trick Room. I would love to be able to get myself into a position where my Colossal's on the field and Trick Room's about to end. So I could switch out my Gothitelle here back into Azumarill. And then fake out the Incin. I know that this is probably not going to. It depends on who they go for here. I should have maybe gone for the U-turn to try to keep them trapped, but I honestly. Oh, okay. This is good. I gave up my positioning, but okay. Well, Helping Hand Flare Blitz is definitely not going to be great. So Indeedee probably switches here, right? They have Incin, Indeedee, Dusclops, and probably Regice. Or Regice, I should say. So I could go for Perish U-turn. Yep. I gave up the lock there, but I think that that's fine. They might Flare Blitz the Rillaboom here. Let's see. Just gonna keep forcing them to switch, I think. Parting Shot. Bueno. I don't even know what Regice gets for coverage moves. Looks like you could have a rock move. Okay, Indeedee comes back out. That's fine. Hmm. Really interesting game one. Both of us seem to be a little bit like hesitant to set up too much. I think I can bring back in Colossal here. So this is their last turn of Trick Room. It's really difficult for me to set up the Colossal in front of this Indeedee. I don't know if I like my positioning. I don't want to take an expanding force unnecessarily here, or like a bulldoze or something. That's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna U-turn and I'm gonna drop the rock, and then I should be able to U-turn into my I should be able to U-turn into my Azumarill, and I think that maxing here is fine because then the next turn I can go for an Aqua Jet. I can U-turn back into my Azumarill and go for the Aqua Jet. Okay. Into Incineroar. Incineroar should die to this. I can't imagine Incineroar takes all of this. So we'll see. My opponent can set Trick Room here too. I'm not necessarily that worried about it. I don't know. Does it looks like it might get, so let's see. Does it get a special ground attack? It doesn't seem to. I don't think it does. Okay, so we get the U-turn off here now. Oh, maybe Incineroar doesn't die to this. That did like no damage. Now keep in mind we do only. Oh, there we go. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So keep in mind that we do only need to take 2 knockouts. And the once the Dusclops sets up Trick Room here, it is going to be forced to switch, um, in my opinion. So they don't have to switch, but they're going to fall to 1 turn left of before they perish. I believe it's 1. We're going to find out here in a second. Yep. Okay, so they probably bring in what, like Regice here? Okay. Okay, so let's go for the Helping Hand. I think it might be Weakness Policy Regice. Do I want Flare Up for any reason? They lost their Incin. I didn't bring my Incin. I guess it just makes my next attack stronger. Let's go after the Regice here. Even though I think their Dusclops is switching. Okay. They might protect here. Maybe they read me going for this play. Let's find out. It was a pretty obvious switch for my opponent, but oh, are they protecting? They might be protecting. That would kind of be bad for me. Okay. Well, we're going to activate the weakness policy here. I'm assuming it's weakness policy. Oh wow, that did nothing. Is it weakness policy? It should be. Yeah. Okay. So if we can take out this Regice, I think we might just like be able to we will easily be able to set up our end game because my opponent won't have any offense left. So if you're my opponent, who do you target? I think I'm gonna go for a Vocalith into the Reggie Ice and then force them to redirect here. I'm not sure this KOs. Maybe the Flare would have been better actually. Flare might have been better. Although they could just change the weather too if they go for an ice attack, so let's find out. Okay. Good play from my opponent. Oh. I think we take this. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. That's my policy activated now. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. That was my last turn of max, I think. Yeah. So now, if you're my opponent, who do you target? I need to try to get. I need to try to get my. I think there's 2 turns left of Trick Room. I need to try to get my Azumarill in here. 2 turns left of Trick Room. I could just double protect here, but I kind of. Okay, I'm gonna protect, and then. Is it okay if Colossal dies here? Colossal dies to the Dusclops, so if I'm my opponent, maybe I'm not going for that. Switch in the Azumarill and protect here. Let's see what this. I don't know if this is right, but I preserve fake outs this way. Excuse me. Um, okay. So now what? Hailstorm into the. Okay, I got this turn right. I think we resist. We should take this. Okay. Okay, this is my opponent's last turn of Trick Room as well. And it is the last turn of their max coming up as well too. Okay. All right. So I could go for a switch here again and switch into like Gothitelle rather than just protecting. I think actually, I think I survive through protect. I'm gonna protect in Heat Wave, and I want my Colossal to go down here. I think I'm okay with Colossal going down. Yep. Okay. Let's see how much this does. Lightning. Okay. Lot of damage. Lot of damage. Okay. Okay, that's the end of Trick Room. So now I go for Fake Out into the Regice, set the Perish. My opponent can Nightshade with Clops. I think I have this. Depends on how long I can keep the Regice from like doing anything. Okay. That's fine. My Gothitelle doesn't have an attack anyway, so fake out's good. Perish Song. Oh wow. Okay. Well, now my opponent, I think they just. Oh, do we die to Hail Chip? Oh, we survive. My opponent must have thought that we would have died to Hail Chip. That's a big survival, actually. Because now I can double protect. Is there? There's no turns left of Trick Room. I'm gonna double protect here, and I think that that means that I win. I was gonna check. I think there was 2 turns left of Hail. I could have gone for an attack with a Azumarill. I guess it does die to Hail Chip this turn anyway, but Blizzard. Okay, that's kind of scary. But I think because I survived to the Hail Chip there, my opponent's going to lose. Okay. All right, now Rillaboom comes in, just resets the terrain. I get to go for a Fake Out plus Reverse Trick Room this turn, and then the subsequent turn double protect. And I think that that's all that matters. Fake Out, Trick Room, and my opponent can't reset the. My opponent can't KO my Gothitelle this turn with Dusclops. So if they're playing for a timer, then um, I don't think there's enough time for them left to do that anyway. But we did have a long battle at the beginning. Okay. Yep. Sure. And this is what I was talking about with like, I feel like Azumarill is a much better Perish Song user. Um, Now we have a ton of animations to go through. And it feels a lot to me like Perish Song is a bit more built into this team, and it feels like you bring it to a lot of battles. But I also think that yep, yep, yep. Okay. And then I'm just gonna double protect here. um, but you bring Santino said that in their team report as well, that Perish Song is really important to this team, and it often comes to almost every game basically. So um, yep. So but it feels to me a little bit more like my last team, if you remember. It felt like the Glacier mode. If you brought Politoed, you had to play really like you had to play really smart, and you couldn't let much happen to your Glacier. And if you did get caught in a bad position with your Glacier, you often just lost the battle. Um, so it to me felt like it was that might have been one of the weaknesses of the team. And also, I felt like the team like I don't think Kingdra fit the Perish mode as well as I would, or excuse me, not the Perish mode, the alternative mode to the Glacier, because like one of the Pokemon I struggled immensely with Glacier was Metagross. And I know Metagross is at an all-time low right now, given the metagame is kind of centralized around things that beat it. Um, but like Celesteela, for example, and Sun and things like that. So I know that a lot of people aren't on Metagross at the moment, or at least not super high on it. So maybe like that would be a good time to come back to that team. But I just couldn't deal with Metagross or really Celesteela that well. If the rest of my opponent's team matched up well against Glastrier and they had a Celesteela, then Kingdra doesn't do anything besides hit it with like strong stab water, which is okay, but it's definitely not good. So I really like the addition of the colossal mode. I feel like it gives you a decent. It makes it easier to pick up the KOs with the residual chip as well. So, Bruhaven. Let's take a look and see. Tapu Koko, Dracovish, Regieleki, Duraludon, Pelipper, and Corviknight. Okay. So this to me looks an awful lot like I think it's a Dynamax Tapu Koko team with Rising Voltage Regieleki, if I had to guess. Where's the sash though? I don't know where the sash is. I think Colossal matches up pretty well here. Um, and my opponent doesn't have a lot for it aside from strong electric attacks. So they do have 2 ground resists though, so I have to be mindful. I don't know how common Earth Power Colossal is, but then I think I definitely want the Incin. Do I though? Maybe I don't want Incin. I do think I want Rillaboom. My Glacier mode looks really good too. I think that, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Glacier would have been better than Incin here, but I kind of ran out of time. Incin just doesn't do very much against their team. It is fake outs though. Like fake out for the Perish Song endgame here is definitely a valuable tool to have. Excuse me. Pelipper, Dracovish. Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna go after the Dracovish here, I think, and I'm gonna Aqua Jet. I don't know if this is right. Let's find out. This Aqua Jet shouldn't do very much. I am zero attack. Sorry, my buddy is Steam messaging me. I'll get this out of the way here and fix this. Whoops. See, that didn't do much, as you can tell. Okay. Clean KO is always a good thing. Okay, I thought it was going to go for a Tailwind. I think that's fine. We're activated Cole here, so let's take a look and see what my opponent goes into. Duraludon, maybe? Regieleki, okay. Regieleki in Tailwind is going to be very difficult to stop, so I think I can afford a max guard here and then a reposition. Just to see what my opponent does. Okay. Okay. Okay, no Dynamax from my opponent. Okay. Okay, that's cool. So now I think my opponent maxes the Coco here, and I think they usually have electric move, fairy move, and I do think I actually want to preserve my Rillaboom here, just because in case something goes wrong with what I'm trying to do for my Parish, I think that it's actually better to do it this way. Rillaboom matches up phenomenally into the rest of my opponent's team, so and it might be physical Coco here as well. So here comes the Dynamax. It looks like it might be the Coco. And I had fake out pressure as well, so switching out there is not a bad idea. Um, let's see who this goes into. Because I could have seen them protect and then, um, nope, they did not protect. Okay, that did a lot of damage. Do we go down here? No. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's physical Lecky or physical Coco. So, and this might KO. I don't actually know. Yep. After the residual chip too. Changing the terrain there actually helped because rising voltage would have become even stronger if I hadn't have changed the terrain. So and then Aleki had to attack first, which is what was good about that. Um, all right, I'm just gonna double the Aleki. I may still outspeed this Pelipper in Tailwind with Colossal. Pelipper's pretty slow. Um, I think it's only base like 70 or something. Yeah, cool. So now it doesn't matter if they take me out. I've got multiple fake outs and Perish to play to. And there's like a really safe way for me to do this. I'll execute here in a second. Are they hurricaning? Oh, they hurricaned Instant. Okay. Well, now they like for sure lose. If they had a water move, then maybe they would have been okay. But all right, I'm gonna charge up this meteor beam and go for a parting shot into the Pelipper. Okay. Yeah, so what would have been safe there is if they did have the water move and they took out the Colossal was to bring in the Azumarill, protect and switch the instant out or parting shot out, and then bring in the Rillaboom, go for the fake out Perish play, and then protect the Rillaboom, switch into Incineroar, and then ideally just kind of go from there. That's what's so nice about having the double pivot and the triple fake out on this team is you have so many ways to stall turns, and even though grassy terrain is a little bit of a counter synergy um, to residual damage like the Colossal, it's so good for your Perish endgame. That was something that I noticed with the Rain version of the team that I was playing, is that you often love having that extra residual healing when you're trying to stall the game out. And having triple fake out is really cool. One of the versions of this team that I did see recently, it was actually a fake out Aqua Jet, Hydro Cannon, Protect, Gmax Blastoise, which is really cool. It doesn't quite have the same. It doesn't have Perish, so you have to have Perish somewhere else on your team. But having another offensive Pokemon that can Dynamax for damage, but also carry Fake Out is really, really sweet. So, so yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me. I just took a couple of games here. Um, Sorry for the interruption there earlier. Now you all know I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, so that's cool. Um, but let's see. We broke into top 100. The question is, how far did we go into top 100? Rank 80. Cool. All right. Well, we'll be back probably tomorrow with maybe more of this team. Or I've been looking to play with Blastoise recently. There was a lot of German players that did really well in the European qualifiers for the Players Cup, and they were using Blastoise. And I've got some variations that I want to explore and some metagame decisions that I think might actually come up. And so I definitely want to re-explore some things that I had been working on in the past. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be back with, or later this week, it might not be tomorrow, I don't know yet. We'll try to do another video with this team and maybe some team building and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the team in the comment section below. Catch y'all later.